So Pat Condell released another video today. This video is entitled The Enemy Within. This video basically promotes a book entitled Muslim Mafia Inside the Secret Underworld That's Conspiring to Islamize America by P. David, I'm going to mispronounce this, Galbatz and Paul Sperry. This book was published by WorldNet Daily. Yes, the same people who support Molotov Mitchell, for those of you who know who he is. Pat makes basically the exact same claims he's made in his past few videos about Islam. Well, first, he's basically accusing CARE of being a Sharia-supporting fascist organization. First off, apparently Pat doesn't know of any other totalitarian ideologies that he could, refer to when referring to Islam. Apparently all Muslims are fascist. And he tries to say, oh, I know, of course, there are moderate Islams. They're so moderate, they're completely silent. Again, Pat needs to do some basic research, and he would find out that many organizations, including CARE, condemn the use of terrorism, and many of them are opposed to Sharia law. And there are also different forms of Sharia law, something Pat never actually talks about. And he says anyone who is not on his side on this issue doesn't know anything about politics or doesn't care about their own freedom or the freedom of their children. Well, it seems like Pat doesn't really want to talk about who the authors of this book are. I'm going to go over a little bit about one of the authors here. One of the authors, P. David Galbatz, there's some very interesting information on him. You can get it from, say, Salon.com, and a few other places as well. He's a paranoid asshole and a racist. Let me read some of the quotes this is from his website, which is no longer up. You can get these quotes from the Salon.com article I'll link. Unless we change the concerns I mentioned, our country will soon evolve into a socialist country. Sharia law will continue to creep into our society. Islamic-based terrorist supporting organizations will continue the implementation of achieving the final objective of an Islamic Ummah in America and worldwide. Then he talks about President Obama. Mr. Obama was a self-admitted cocaine user, alcohol, and chose friends, Reverend Wright, who hated America and were terrorists, Bill Ayers. Note, more could be named. Based on this and this alone, this is not the role model we want our children to follow, nor to watch on TV at school. But why do leading media from the right and left never speak of Obama's drug days? Because many of them have had their own drug days. It is time leaders in our country began speaking out and simply telling the American people that the basic truth, why Obama and his friends are not repeated, he misspelled that, and American parents do not consider him to be a role model for our children. His primary method of resolving national and international disputes he has generated is to invite offended parties to the White House to consume, I think he means consume is what he means, alcoholic beverages. Again, not the method most parents would use to resolve serious situations and not what we want our children to view as an appropriate method. So apparently he's opposed to Obama solely because Obama will have people to the White House to drink and discuss issues. Does he not understand how politics works and how things get done? Things are rarely decided in public rooms. And then of course, to continue this author's anti-Muslim hysteria, he had a picture of Keith Ellison, who was the first elected Muslim congressman, with this caption under it: "One of your leading elected officials, supporter of CARE, with researcher Chris Gabouts. How much information do we have on Carson and Congressman Keith Ellison? Oh, they're secret Muslim terrorists." He also, one of the main things that his book talks about is basically that CARE is trying to infiltrate the American government by putting Muslim interns in congressional offices. Normally I thought, that talking to congresspeople, and trying to convince them of your viewpoint was called lobbying. And that, putting a Muslim intern in a congressional office would be called, well, it doesn't really strike me as really, that bad. Would they be complaining about the NAACP placing a black intern in office? Oh no! The NAACP is a front organization for the Black Panthers! Oh no! It's utterly ridiculous. All they're doing, these aren't secret Muslim spies. They're Muslim people being helped to get interns in Congress so they can become involved in American politics. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. You want these people to be integrated into the American system. And again, what else has Dave Galbatz done? Well, apparently, he actually proved the Bush administration right when it comes to weapons of mass destruction. Here's from an article. Dave Galbatz, however, says you cannot be more wrong. Saddam's WMD did exist. He should know, because he found the sites where he is certain they were stored. And the reason you don't know about this is that the American administration failed to act on his information, lost his classified reports, and is now doing everything it can to prevent disclosure of the terrible fact that through its own incompetence it allowed Saddam's WMD to end up in the hands of the very terrorist states against whom it is so controversially at war. So this is one of the authors of the book that Pat Condell touts, the man who single-handedly proved the Bush administration right, that WMDs did exist in Iraq, and we're just letting them slip away. One of the other hilarious lines that Pat uses is that we should basically, basically kind of like exterminate and treat Islam the same way we did rabies. Does he not realize that basically if an animal catches rabies, we kill it? Or if we think it has rabies, we kill it? I really don't think that's what he's arguing for, but maybe he should choose his words a bit more carefully. And he talks about, oh, well, there shouldn't have to be a CARE, Council on American Islamic Relations. They shouldn't have to do it. They should just come here and convert to our laws, and that's it, and they shouldn't expect special treatment. They're not expecting special treatment. The reason why these organizations form is because of the level of anti-Islamic hysteria that exists in our country. That's why they exist, to basically say, hi, we're Muslims, and that doesn't mean we're terrorists. I mean, a lot of these people that are supporting this book, let me see if I can find this quote. There's a hilarious... Oh, yeah. One of the representatives, Sue Myrick, a Republican, of course, said... oh, God, this is hilarious. Basically talking about why there's like a huge issue here with Muslims in the United States. Said, well, look at who runs all the convenience stores across the country. So basically, Pat is supporting the book and going after CARE because he thinks there's some sort of like secret Islamic terrorist supporting organization trying to infiltrate the government. Well, as far as I'm aware, he's not going after AIPAC, which has legitimately been proven to have spied on the United States government. I'll link to the case. Pentagon analyst gets 12 years for disclosing data. A Pentagon analyst was convicted basically of funneling classified data through AIPAC to Israel. I don't see these people, or at least Pat, criticizing Israel for stealing nuclear weapon secrets from the United States. So apparently if the Jews and the state of Israel spy on the United States, that's totally fine and acceptable. But if CARE puts, admittedly Muslim interns in congressional offices and, lobbies the government, that's bad. I don't quite understand this logic. Anyway, sorry for this rambling video. I hope you all have a nice day.